Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. My name is Luca. I'm a mobile product specialist here at Google. And we're here today to talk about app promotion. So just before we get started, I just wanted to remind you that you have the option to comment below the video that you're looking at. And I will address those questions at the end of those sessions. So please try and interact and leave any questions that you might have on any of the content that we will look at today. Right, so the session today is going to be about apps and in general, and more specifically on app promotion. There's a few things I want to talk to you about. First of all, what we're going to look at is the state of the apps. How are apps doing in general? What's coming? What's next? What are the challenges? And how can we address them? I want to touch on why you would want to develop an app if it's not something you already have. And then we'll really plunge into the core of this session today, which is all about app promotion with AdWords and all the things that you can do to address those challenges that are today in the industry. And then I'll leave you with a few new things that we just launched that are going to help you further develop your app. Right, so reminder to just leave any questions that you have in the comments, and we will answer those shortly today. Right, so state of the apps. What's happening in the industry? So obviously, you must have a smartphone which might have around 24 to 25 apps. And those represent a dramatic shift in the way people interact and consume media. There's an app really for everything. You can, hail a taxi. You can talk to your friends. You can stay in touch with your email. You can do so many different things with apps. So apps have unique features. We'll touch on that in a few seconds. But really, let's have a look at the growth of this app momentum. So there's been over 180 billion downloads of apps in 2015, or that's including the remaining 3 months to go. And it's forecasted to grow even further to 225 billion in 2016. So this is really, just to put things into context, 180 billions app downloads. So those 180 billions do drive a lot of value for different types of businesses. And the App Store's revenue in 2015 has been of around $41 billion. That's around a 15% year-over-year increase from last year. And it's due to continue on a 20% growth to next year. Now, if you were to break down this revenue into the different models, meaning, where does this money actually come from? It mainly comes from the price that you pay for an app and in-app transaction, mainly. Of course, there is great ways to monetize your app and publishing ads within your apps. But the one trend we are seeing is that in-app transaction, in-app actions are the one fueling this app revenue growth. So keep that in mind because it's going to be important. And then, of course, there is an incredible amount of apps available today in the app stores. There's over 1.5 million apps in each app store, so a combined 3 million apps on Google Play and the iTunes Apple Store. Of course, there's going to be a lot of apps available on both, but it gives you a feeling of how many businesses, how many developers have developed an app. Right, now, yes, the industry is growing, apps have a great momentum, but they are also facing a few challenges that I want to quickly show to you. So first of all, 60% of apps have never been downloaded, just because there are so many apps. Some apps just don't get found. The other thing is also that when an app is being downloaded, it does not necessarily mean it will live and thrive forever on a smartphone user. 1 out of 5 apps are only used once. And then staying on this engagement aspect of apps, 95% of apps are abandoned within 1 month. So what you see here is that there are 2 clear challenges that apps are facing. First, app discovery, and the second one is app re-engagement. Okay, so making sure that your app gets to the right users, gets downloaded on the right phones, but then also that its usage, which is a main driver of the value you will be obtaining from developing an app, is actually being it's actually working. Right. But just to remind you as well, we now spend 90% of our time within apps. So you can think of the different app you have on your phone today, and now you constantly engage through those with your phone. And just to put this into better context, we have this new stats, I think that it was released by Flurry Analytics, that actually shows the US daily media average consumption. So how much does a user spend in minutes in a day on apps versus TV? Okay, so what you see here in 2013, a user would spend around 126 minutes on apps and 168 on TV. Now, TV has stayed the same from 2013 to 2014 until 2015, whereas look at the green bars here, apps have gone tremendously up to the point where this year in the US, on average, people spend more time in apps than watching TV. So keep this in mind as we move through the presentation, as you try and diversify the assets that you have to reach those users. Apps become a very important component. So why an app? Maybe you already have an app and you'll be interested to learn how to promote it in a little bit. But before we get there, I want to stress a few things about developing an app and why it would be relevant to you. So I want to quote here a marketer that has come up with this report this year on the app industry, and has stressed that it shouldn't be an app versus mobile site discussion. Think of, again, diversifying your assets and making sure you're giving every possible ways to your users to reach you, interact with you, and finally offer them the best user experience to finalize that sale. So I don't want to position M sites against apps, because I think they can greatly work together. In fact, I'll show you something that will be launched next week. But just to remind you of the differences that both these assets have. So mobile sites, I'm just going to pick some of the key characteristics here. Mobile sites, of course, are cheaper to develop on average. You can get probably an M site working in a short time. Tracking is simpler. You can develop you can use responsive web design so that you don't really need to think of all the device models and how your user experience will adapt to each screen size. For apps, it's different. For apps, sit physically on the phone of a user. They don't necessarily require a Wi-Fi connection for them to be able to create value for you. They create this relationship between your most loyal customers or the just newly acquired ones, and they're easily accessible and they're omnipresent on their phone. So, and the other thing is, of course, you can make use of features of the phones, like, say, a barcode scanner, something that it could be way too advanced for a mobile site to handle. So keep those things in mind. It really, really depends on what kind of product you're selling and how you want to interact with your customer. What is the experience you want to give to your users, and which of those assets will fit it best? Most of the time, it will be both. All right, just in light of actually making your mobile site work with the app that you are about to develop, we are about to announce next week an important change. So before I talk through that, I want to remind you of, especially if you are an e-commerce and you are in online sales, so you are trying to sell through your mobile site or app, I want to remind you why it is that users prefer apps when it comes to commercial activity. So what we've done here, we've scattered across the funnel: awareness, consideration, purchase, and then loyalty, the different ways that users think of the app in that section of the funnel. So in the awareness phase, obviously users would browse and look up products. So having an app that simplifies that process is going to get you a step closer to your user. Once they are aware of the products they want to buy and they are considering the purchase, then users do read a lot reviews and in many times rely on reviews in order to make the purchase. So simplifying again that experience is critical. Of course, you're all aware of people walking into shops and using their smartphone to compare prices that some of the shops have. So including, again, this aspect is critical to simplify the process. And then, when the purchase actually happens, there is a certain sense that an app gives you a certain confidence to share your bank details instead of a mobile site. So app do tend to see a better monetization process than mobile site, and then allowing, of course, your users to redeem points. You can think of, for example, Starbucks allows you to use through the app all the points, so that if you walk into different stores, you quickly just have to show your app and collect points as easily as that. So keep in mind those things, as they are crucial elements of developing a strong user interface in your app that responds to those trendy needs that users have when interacting with apps. So the one thing I wanted to mention, so next week we are launching the new update on Android Marshmallow, and the one thing that will be included as a feature of this new update is the option to actually make your mobile sites interact with your app more easily. So all we're doing is, so let me give you an example. For example, if you go to a website that offers you to open a link through an app that you have. For example, you can think of Booking is always a good example. If you go to Booking on their mobile site and you want to click through an offer, sometimes Booking will prompt you, hey, you actually have an app installed, the Booking app, why don't you carry on the process through the app? So what this new feature will allow you to do is to auto-verify links on your mobile website and really create better connections with sections of your app, so that you can increase further the user experience for all those users that already have your app. Or the other way around, you can, of course, incite them to download it. Right. So the one thing I want to stress again here is that whatever you choose to do, Google is an invaluable partner in promoting your AMP site, but specifically when it comes to apps, think of all the great products that we offer you today, from building an app, the Android ecosystem, integrating with our cloud solutions, to actually growing your audience through Google Play, AdWords mainly, but then engaging those audience again through state-of-the-art technologies like Google Analytics, YouTube, of course, and Play again, and then being able to monetize your app through services we offer like AdMob and Google Wallet to simplify the payment processes. So think of Google as a great partner to really help you 360 on developing your app, growing it, making sure you find the right audience, and even monetize it. So today what we are going to talk about is really how to promote your app. So you have spent time and money investing in this app, and now you want to make sure that this app gets out to the right users. So let's get started. So we now offer today really unparalleled ways to reach users in every different micro moments they are in their day. So a micro moment is really an action that a user takes with their phone throughout the day, and out of which the different businesses like you can create value of. So it might be someone looking to get somewhere, it might be someone looking to watch a video to know more about a product, it might be someone trying to find an app that solves his needs. So here's a quick showcase of the most important ways you can make use of through AdWords to interact with this audience. So I'll briefly speak about Play in a second, but we've just recently launched ads in Google Play. This is a tremendous opportunity to reach new audience that is highly engaged. Of course, Google search. There's over 100 billion searches every month. You can obviously engage. You can reach users that are currently engaging with other apps. So be it a finance app, a game, whatever it is, we allow you to really promote your app where people spend the majority of their time. You can also promote your app while people are surfing the web. So you're on a mobile site, you're reading maybe the news, and here you have the ability to promote your app again. And then of course YouTube, which has a tremendously engaged audience that actually has a very high degree of interest for apps. Right, so what I want to do is really focus on some key products and showcase you some of the most important features that you can use for your app promotion campaigns. But before we do that, I really want to make sure that you're able to follow across the different products with something important in mind, which is kind of a funnel unique to apps. So if you think about the different products, sometimes it can become overwhelming understanding the right marketing mix, the right product mix in shaping your strategy and getting to valuable transaction, which is your core objective for your app. So what I've done here, I've just tried to make sure that you're able to follow across the next slide, keeping this framework in mind. So the first thing you would all want to do to promote your app is to make sure that you're driving installs at scale. As we've seen, 60% of the apps have never been downloaded, and it's crucial that you are able to drive your app to the right audience in the first place. Once you've done that, it's important that you're able to pick out of this bucket high-value users that will represent future value. And out of this audience, you will want to capture in-app transaction as much as possible. So I'll try and address each of those solutions or each of those steps with our products as we go along. Right, so PlayAt. I'll start off with something completely new. We just launched this over the summer, and it's a great addition to your existing mobile apps search install campaigns in AdWords. So really, it's as easy as opting in, and there is no real technical requirements required. You don't have to change any tracking. Everything flows automatically. So if you have existing ad promotion campaigns on search, there's gonna be no additional steps required. In fact, we use the same keywords across both platforms. I do recommend that before opting into Play, you do review your list of keywords that you currently use. Those might have been shaped for your mobile site promotion. App-specific keywords are not going to be that drastically different, but it is important that you do review those so that you can maximize as much as possible the opportunities to drive installs through Play. So other ways that we offer as well is products that run on the Google Display Network. So just to keep things simple, the way Google, the GDN, the Google Display Network is structured is you have the Google Display Network where you can actually reach hundreds of thousands of partner publishers of Google where you can promote your app. So this will be simply, mobile site placements. But then as well, we do have our AdMob network, our in-app network that is part of the GDN network. So you can decide to do both, reach users on mobile sites or on apps. Now, a few things I wanted to stress here is that we launched about a year ago confirmed clicks, and this allows really to ensure the quality of the clicks on the GDN networks. So it's a 1.5-step verification, meaning if someone by accident click on your ad, we do prompt him to confirm that he intends to actually visit your website. And this has improved a lot the quality of the clicks that we're able to bring to you. Of course, if you're promoting an app, our platformers are smart enough to understand if the end user already has the app. In that case, we are not going to pull you into the auction or promote the app in that instance. What you see here on the right is an app promotion text template. I'll talk about this a little bit more in the last section, but the one thing that you need to know is interstitials on AdMob are a great way to really reach your audience, engage with them, and drive installs. So we've seen about 7 times the CTR of normal banner ads, and it's really not complicated to set them up. More on this in a little bit. Right. So other products, other formats on AdMob. If we stay though a little bit longer on AdMob, and we keep on talking about the interstitial formats, one particularly performing interstitial format is the video interstitial ad format, and it's available to you through AdMob. So what this allows you to do is really to pull in a video you might have on YouTube or directly on Google Play, showcase the value of the app through a video. So the format will take over the entire screen, will autoplay the video, and at the end there will be an end card highlighting the most important information. Some of this information you can customize, like the headline or the 2 lines of text, and other information like the price, the reviews, the stars will be automatically retrieved from Google Play. So this is a great format. We've seen great results in this, and I encourage you to try this. Now, staying on the video side of things, you might have heard of our TrueView format on YouTube, which is very popular. We have adapted that very popular format specifically for apps. So you're able to, again, on YouTube, which has over 2 billion mobile daily views today, engage with your audience at the very, very performing model. So the way it works is that we will show on the, if it's an in-stream ad, an install banner just below the video. The way you are charged is if someone watches the video to 30 seconds or the entire length of the video, or someone clicks on the install button in the companion banner, then the billing event happens. But the one important thing I want to stress, here you're getting installs at the price of a visualization on Google. So if you have some experience on YouTube, you will know that CPVs on YouTube are quite low. So this is a tremendous opportunity to really drive as much as you can your app on YouTube. Important thing to note as well is that the companion banner persists. So if someone skips the ad and watches the video he was intending to watch in the first place, then he will do that with the companion banner staying there below, inviting him to install the app. So great format to reach a great audience at a very, very low cost model. Right. So now that we've seen some of the products, I really want to stress a very cardinal, aspect of managing those campaigns. It can become quite tricky to have dedicated campaign for different products, for different audiences, and not understanding every day, every week, how much time you actually have to spend in AdWords, how to optimize each of those, especially the bidding part. And so here we developed something quite impressive. So we've used machine learning to really fine-tune the signals of Conversion Optimizer. What this does is, so the way you traditionally would have been using Conversion Optimizer for all your campaigns, we've taken the best out of that, and then we've made an app-friendly version of Conversion Optimizer that runs for your app promotion campaigns. So first thing here is I strongly encourage you from day one to use Conversion Optimizer in your app promotion campaigns. It will be your best friends. And I've included here a few things just to remind you of how smart Conversion Optimizer is and will be specifically in your account with your needs and your audience. So Conversion Optimizer, it bids on a variety of different things, of course, text ads, image ads, the actual size and the content of the ad, even the content of video ads, and it's smart enough to look over 650,000 apps and hundreds of thousands of mobile site placements, and of course, if you're running on Play on Search, your search keywords. It is based on a multitude of factors. Wouldn't be able to include them all here, but here are some of the most important ones. Of course, the performance of those placements you are currently running on, the characteristics of those users, of your audience, if they actually have already demonstrated propensity to buy an app or not. It learns also from similar app campaigns that you already are running, and then the usual user demographic, location, time of the day, the device model, and even the OS, the operating system version of the phone in use. And it does all that to achieve two simple things. To reach your target CPI, so to stay within your expected budget, and then to also maximize the install volume. So get you that scale that it's needed to drive those installs, but then as well, important to stay within your target CPI. Right. So it's not only a question of bidding. We do want to give you full control of the cockpit in AdWords so that you're able to actually determine what you think is best and have a human effect on top of conversion optimizer, if you may. So here's a few powerful targeting methods. These are just some of the ones we offer, but I just wanted to list the most important ones, especially when trying to remember the end goal, driving in-app transactions. So you're able to, of course, reach users who already have an app installed that is similar to yours. You can reach users by determining which app categories you want to target. You can, of course, reach users, as I was saying before, that have already demonstrated the ability, the propensity to pay for an app or to pay within an app. You can reach users that literally just bought their phone and might be, curious to learn about new apps they could install on their phone. You can do so for the last 7 days, 14 days, 30, 60, up to 90 days. And then placement targeting, of course, allows you to have that full manual control of the reports that we show you in AdWords, where you can actually pick the placements or the apps that are driving the most traffic and bring them up in position. And then location targeting. This will be very simple as for any other AdWords campaign that you're running, but I do want to remind you that there are now new ways to target people in even more specific areas like airports, museums, and so on and so forth. So think of how that would actually work with promoting your app. Endless possibilities. Right, so the other thing I want to stress as well is that, remember we've said that your M site can work together with your app. And this is where we're moving into how do you find high-value user now that you have promoted your app around. So before we look at a few things here, a quick reminder about a few simple tips that you can start using today to reach those high-value users. So the best high-value users that you have are actually the one that already visited your mobile site. So here's a quick tip on how to actually make M-site and app work together. On search, you can use RLSA remarketing lists for search to bid for your M-site visitors and invite them to download your app. Whereas on display, you can use your traditional remarketing list and drive more app installs through that too. Okay, so we now come to the most crucial part of actually creating value out of each of those users. Before I talk about some of our products and solutions on app re-engagement, I want to present to you or define what deep linking is. You might have heard of deep linking, you might not have heard of deep linking. So what is deep linking and how does it work and how will it benefit your app? So deep linking, if you think about maybe some time ago you were reviewing your website, and if you are dedicated in structuring your website so that it has prominent visibility on the internet, you will always look back at your sitemap. So the sitemap, for the ones of you that don't know what a sitemap is, a sitemap is simply a structure of all the links that your website has, and it allows really for the web to be smarter about how to actually get users directly to a specific page, for example, through search, organic search. Now, the same methodology, the same concept, the same notion, we can now adapt to apps. So deep linking, in a way, is actually explaining how your app is built to someone that does not know your app. Not necessarily the end users, but organic search on Google, other partners, other apps. So deep links are simply a specific location within your app. It could be a section, it could be the contact us page, it could be even a more complex section of your app that is drawn dynamically. But generally, it's a simple link within your app. So again, in the past, a link to your app would have meant only opening the app. From now on, or with deep links, you're now able not only to open an app, but to go to a very specific section of that app. So how does that help you and your app? So app indexing, which is the process of creating deep links for your apps, is actually ranking signals of organic Google search. So if your app is indexed, we will be able on Google search to actually present the content of your app straight away to a user that is looking for something related. Now, deep links are also a fundamental part in app promotion and especially app re-engagement, because they do allow you to have much more tailored marketing campaigns to re-engage those users and encourage them to use the app ongoingly. Remember that 95% of the apps are abandoned within 1 month. So this is a great way to really position your app again and ensure that your users are aware of the content or functionalities it has. So if you want to discover more on deep linking, you can go to developers.google.com, and there's going to be an extensive section full of resources explaining you how to set it up and how to get started with it. Okay, now that we have an understanding of what deep linking is, I really want to use that to showcase to you how you can actually drive in-app transaction through re-engagement. So here is this very simple example I've put together where you have someone coming to your app, abandoning the shopping cart. He was maybe looking to buy a flight. You are offering flights. Let's imagine that for a second. And then he has to leave, so he's not able to finalize the cycle, and he closes the app. So automatically, we're able to add him to a re-engagement list. And then we can reach him again, for example, when he was surfing the web or within another app. Of course, re-engagement works on search as well. So maybe he was looking for flights to New York on Google search. And in that case, because we've added him specifically to a re-engagement list, and because our app is deep linked, if he clicks on our ad, we're not just going to open the app again for him. We are going to open the app with the specific section within that app that is going to be allowing him to finalize the purchase of the ticket, and so drive value out of this user. Right, so it's very simple, and you see here why deep links are so fundamental to re-engagement strategies, because they allow you to be very, very precise in the way you present your products and restitute the right information to the right user at the right moment. Now, of course, there's ways of simplifying your app promotion strategy. It might be that you're not going to have time to fully develop your app with deep links, and in that case, you're always going to be bringing users back just to the main page of your app, which is fine, depending on the complexity of your app or the variety of products that you use. But if you go to the full extent with deep linking, I just want to stress here how many new marketing opportunities you would actually unfold by doing that. So on search, with search re-engagement ads, you're able to monetize your existing user base much faster, much better, just because you are reminding them that your app is already sitting on their phone, and you're inviting them to use it over and over again. This allows as well, if your app is developing in time and you're adding new features or you're adding new promotions to your products, you can prompt users specifically at the right time. And then, of course, you're able to seize that very important search traffic, which is very fragmented through apps. So if people will naturally go to Google to search for something, they will be able to find you back instantly. On display, so when people are not searching, but maybe within an app or surfing the web, you can do a variety of things. You can upsell and cross-sell to your customers. You can, of course, foster better loyalty with those very high-value users by showing them latest offer. Remember that we are using re-engagement lists, so you already know what is the audience that will be seeing your ads. So you can actually foster different strategy to finalize sales cycles, but also to render more mature the relationship with your users with more with loyalty offers. Right. Now, of course, none of this would be available to you if you wouldn't be able to track all those steps and not only downloads but post-download behavioral threats. So what I mean by that is, yes, it is important for us to help you drive those downloads, but it's even more important to understand what the lifetime value of those users are. So we have various tracking methods. Simple one that can help you merely track how many downloads you've got, to more advanced ones, understanding how to optimize your sales strategy, but even optimize the app itself. It's by understanding how users interact with your app, for example, with analytics, that you're able then to see what changes your app requires in order to accelerate the value you're getting out of those apps. So here, just quickly, if you are promoting an Android app, you do not have to install any tracking. We automatically integrate with Google Play. That's very straightforward. You just create your campaign. At the end of the campaign creation flow in AdWords, you will see a conversion tracking step, and it will just inform you that everything is already codelessly set up for you. For iOS apps, in-app conversions, if you want to track specific actions within your app, be it Android or iOS, you can use the conversion tracking SDK, the software development kit. It's a simple snippet, just as you would have done with your website. It's a code that you paste into your page, in this case in your app, and it will allow at specific section of your app, depending where you pasted it, to track actions. Okay, so in-app conversions are, as we were saying, the ultimate result that you want to see from your apps. Being able to track them is mandatory. Third-party tracking, there's a variety of third-party tracking companies out there that you might work with already or decide to work with. And here I just want to stress that AdWords integrates with any of them. So you can really just use a third-party tracking URL if you're running campaigns on other networks and you want to see them all combined at once. That's absolutely fine. You can just use that URL straight in AdWords. Now, Google Analytics is gonna open up a new world of information, as I was referring to before. So I do recommend to think of using Google Analytics. You do require installing an SDK, But with the integration of the Google Play console, if you have an Android app, you will most probably upload it to Google Play. You will have a console there to manage your apps, and we give you the ability to connect your Google Play console with your Google Analytics account. And this will allow you to, for example, see the referral flow of your app, how people are engaging in play with your app, and you can then use this information further in the cycle to make important decisions, as I was saying, not only about optimizing your app, but optimizing your app promotion or app engagement strategies. Right, so we've covered a lot. I just wanted to make sure that you have a ground understanding of the main features of our products, how to use them in which occasion, and most importantly, that you are confident that we give you full possibilities of tracking all these downloads and post-downloads actions. So before we close today, I just wanted to show you two cool things that we've launched, and again, helping you to drive app discovery and app re-engagement. So the first thing is universal app campaigns. So you should think of universal app campaigns as a self-driving car. It's really, if you don't have much time to go into the details of each campaign type, like for play, for search, and display, you may want to quickly create a campaign and see those ads run on their own. So we've created this new type of campaign which literally automate ads, automate the bidding for you, automate even the budget distribution across the different products it will run, because it will be running on Google Search, on AdMobs, on the GDN, and on YouTube. So one campaign to promote your app across all those properties. So I really encourage you to learn more about universal app campaigns if you just want to sit back, relax, and do not have enough experience maybe in manually gearing those app promotion campaigns. The other new thing is a total new UI for app install interstitial. I've used it in one of the slides before, but here again, I want to stress that what you're seeing here under over new UI is a text ad. So there was no effort whatsoever in developing images here. This is simply a text ad. So if I show you, if I break down the elements of the interstitial, you'll see here that it pulls automatically a cover photo from the App Store that you have. It allows you to have more images so that you can showcase your app directly from the interstitial. It's only clickable though on the install button, allowing really to deliver high intent clicks. And then material design has been incorporated into this interstitial format. So for example, all the color matching is done based on your cover photo, ensuring a full and great user experience to drive those app downloads. So again, you don't have to do anything. This will run automatically for you. Right. So I would like to thank you for being with me today and learning all about the new AdWords promotion features, how to get your app promoted, and how to re-engage with your users. Again, I would like to encourage you to write any questions you might have on the different things we have seen today. Just leave them in the comments, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks a lot. Bye.